Hey guys, what's up? It's O'Brien Hot Rods back. I just did a tire review, which has been really popular on the channel on my Cooper AT3s and a 255 7018 size. If you haven't seen that video, please take a look for that one as well, because I did a pretty in-depth review on these tires. But today I wanted to talk about the Jeep itself. This is a 2021 Wrangler Sport Altitude. And the question I had when I ordered this originally, I ordered this as a surprise for my wife. And the question was, what engine? 2-liter turbo or the V6 that I knew? We've had a Ram with the V6, we had a Durango, I've had company cars with the Pentastar engine, and going the 2-liter turbo, when Jeep came out with this engine for this model, I thought they were nuts. I said, why on earth would you think about putting a small 4-cylinder engine in something that weighs 4,000 pounds that's meant to off-road? I have to tell you, after spending some time, a friend of mine runs a dealership, after spending some time with both models, the V6 and the 2-liter, hands down, I decided to go with this powertrain. Absolutely feels much more torquey down low. The turbo spools up a little bit higher. It gives you great passing power. It's really been a big surprise. Other than fuel economy, it's really been fantastic. And I took the risk. I had read and watched a lot of reviews. I took the risk in part because it's a leased vehicle, and frankly, you know, at the end of the lease, we could give this thing back if we wish to. To give you an idea on this particular one, this came in around $45,000 at window. At the time, there were some great leases, so that made it, you know, a good deal. This one is Sarge Green, which my wife and I both think is probably the best color on this thing. It's Sarge Green by virtue of being an Altitude. It has the hardtop with the removable panels. It also has the hardtop insulation, which I would not own a hardtop one of these without that. I ordered it with factory navigation, factory heated seats, factory heated steering wheel, which is incredibly uncommon on this model, which I believe will bring it some value at the end. And I'll tell you, it's made it wonderful for us in the meantime. It also has factory remote start. So living in New England, it's been fantastic. You know, with relation to the powertrain, the 8-speed problems, so the engine, ton of torque, the turbo kicks in higher. I believe I've seen that the rated 0 to 60 is something around 7 seconds, which is insanely good for something shaped like an office building. And it drives like that. You can definitely feel from a stop, it pulls hard. I think the powertrain is fantastic, and I know that's shared among other Stellantis vehicles. Like, I've never driven an Alfa Romeo Giulia, but I have to think, even in the base model, it's pretty entertaining, because I believe it has something akin to this. But this is the 2-liter turbo with the 8-speed automatic. It runs really well. It makes some whiny, squeaky 4-cylinder turbo kinds of noises, which I can live with. I don't love in this type of vehicle, but I don't hate it enough to be down on the powertrain. So power's great. The downside, and the thing that I don't love on this, is the fuel economy. Now, you don't buy one of these for fuel economy, so before anybody puts in hateful messages at the bottom, I fully understand what kind of vehicle I bought. However, I have several friends that have these in a V6, and they do get comparable fuel economy. So it begs the question, you know, why go one or the other? I think, you know, the long time track record for the V6 is probably better, although these 2-liters tend to be proving to be pretty reliable. This model, by the way, so we ordered it in 2021, picked it up in July. It's now November of 2023. We're currently sitting at about 26,600 miles. All the factory recommended services have been done at the dealer. It's been in for oil changes every 5,000 miles. It's had the tires rotated as well. All the fluids have been done. It'll get the 30K when we get there. We've of course been keeping filters replaced along the way. So all factory recommended maintenance has been done on this thing at the intervals or sooner than what is suggested by Stellantis. So, you know, overall, it's been a push the button and go kind of Jeep for us. No problems, with one exception, and that's the start-stop function. I've read about those being a problem in a lot of these. Sure enough, probably about 12 months in, we noticed, and we kind of hate the start-stop functionality, but we noticed around 12 months in that it stopped working. I took it into the Jeep dealer, and they were kind enough to warranty it. it appears it was a faulty battery, which I guess is kind of a thing with these. So the battery for, you know, it's a separate start-stop battery that was replaced under factory warranty, and it's good as new. The only downside is it was at the dealer a couple days to get that done, but not their fault. So just another view here of the Sarge Green. Again, I think if you're buying a Jeep, this is one of the best colors on this thing. I did not, by the way, elect to order the LED lights. I have to tell you, these lights are great at night. Like the LEDs, it's kind of a catchy, fancy, you know, thing, and perhaps somebody lives somewhere in the wilderness that they really need the LEDs. I find the standard headlights to be quite fine, and particularly when you're already armed with fog lights. I don't have any problem with it. So, you know, to wrap the equipment list, we looked at this, or I looked at this when I ordered this really as a surprise and a gift from my wife, as a replacement SUV, right? It's going to have to be a family hauler. The safety's gotten a lot better in these things. You know, and at the time in 2021, the price point was about $45,000 prior to any incentives or discounts from the dealer. That's competitive with a lot of other things. One thing that I'm very impressed with is the room. The leg room is excellent. I'm right at 6 feet tall. I am comfortable in the driver's seat. I was going to order seat extenders. I don't need them. At 6 feet tall and a little north of 200 pounds, I sit comfortably in the driver's seat. Seats are hard, I'll warn you of that, but I'll tell you the thing that's the real surprise, and you're going to see a bunch of mess here, so I apologize for that, but that's where I sit, and that's how much back seat room. You can see Tilly, our boxer, has left her mark all over that seat back there. But look at the space. I mean, there's a ton of back seat space in this thing. So that I find very, very impressive. So next up, I'm going to give you a driving review. You know, give you a little bit of ride along with me so you can see kind of like what it's like to operate it from behind the wheel. Okay, I'm going to give you a quick behind the wheel driving impression. This is from stop at pretty good acceleration. By the way, you can see right there 26,625 for miles. What we're going to do, it's the start stop function is working. What we're going to do is we're going to take off from a dead stop here in just a second. It looks like I'm about to be passed by another Jeep, ironically. But we're going to take off. Sounded like a V6 in that one. And what I'm going to give you is just my foot to the floor, 0 to 60, to give you an idea of how this thing runs. It's very, very impressive. So, okay, foot off the start stop. There's nobody behind me. Got kind of a deserted spot here. So, let's show you here. Get down to 0. All right, here we go. There was 59 miles an hour. This thing really hauls the mail. It's unbelievable how quickly it gets up to speed. It really, and I don't know if you heard, there's a little bit of turbo whine, a little whistle, if you will, when you're getting after it. But it's just a very, very impressive powertrain. I don't know, you know, for me, it was a hands down difference when I drove one of these. And the nice thing about this too is, you know, unlike the 4xe, which is the hybrid, of course, it's a plug-in, this guy doesn't have the weight of all that battery and the electricity. So, you know, our next one may very well be a 4xe, but from what I read, it changes the dynamics of the car. And this thing's just incredibly impressive in acceleration. And that includes passing power as well. You know, just the straight line acceleration, the passing power, it really makes it very utilitarian. So we're going to get after a little bit here again. I mean, that's back up to just about 60 miles an hour. I think that's insanely good for, again, a vehicle shaped like an office building. So, you know, let me know what you think down below, but in just a second here, we'll wrap this thing up. Hang on. So to kind of wrap it up here, the question people often ask me, you know, would you order it again? Would you order it again in the 2-liter? Would you order this again? Is it a good replacement for an SUV? You know, that comes up a lot, right? I'm going to haul my family. Would it be a vehicle that's good at hauling my family? Or is it, you know, is it strictly kind of an off-roady vehicle? Well, I'm going to give you a combination answer here. If you're looking for on-road manners and behaviors like a regular SUV, this isn't your vehicle, right? These have the famous Jeep quadricoil suspension, Sorry about that really angry hawk in the background. I think he's going to try to eat me. You know, it's got the quadricoil suspension. It's very flexible. It's very soft. Out on the highway, these things wiggle, move back and forth. If you're looking for the, you know, call it Ford Explorer, Lexus RX 350 type of experience in driving, this is never going to match that. This is definitely a more off-road biased vehicle. We are at an average of about 18 miles to the gallon, which is also not exceedingly good. So, you know, if you're okay with what I would consider to be mediocre fuel economy, but you like the look, certainly the utilities there, there's tons of cargo space, definitely good backseat space. You can haul 4 people, and I'm going to say comfortably, in the sense that with legroom, headroom. You know, seats are super hard, so they can be weatherproof, so something to keep in mind. But overall, this was at a window in 2021 of about $45,000. They've gone up a lot. I think a comparable like it now, if you could find one, because Stellantis wants to sell the 4XEs. But the you know, a 2-liter turbo model equipped like this one, something in the low 50s right now. You know, there's a lot in that competitive space, but we've really loved this Jeep. The 2-liter turbo longevity is still a little bit of a question mark, and when we get to the end of our lease, you know, we're gonna definitely think it through, but I believe our residual versus the value is gonna make it a no-brainer to buy it. So we most likely will be hanging on to this one for another couple to few years after the lease is done. So any questions that you have, I'm sure glad to answer them. Again, this was my experience. By the way, you know, the factory ordering experience was awesome. You know, getting exactly what we want in the way of equipment. I would highly recommend that from any manufacturer. You know, I don't know the timeline always. In my instance, I factory ordered this thing, and Stellantis apparently puts these in front of all the other products they make when you factory order, because they have a bank of these built, and it's just, you know, already in the color, and it's just a matter of the stuff that you order as features. But I factory ordered it, and no kidding, 6 weeks later it was here, and I know it was my car because it had our name on the window sticker. So it wasn't a situation where the dealer swapped it in. It was actually factory ordered for us. So anyway, you know, if you're considering one of these, you got any questions, obviously, you know, it's a big expense. We don't take it lightly to spend that kind of money, you know, whether it's a lease or a buy. But if you got questions about it, please reach out. I always answer questions quickly. Looking for new subscribers. Definitely will engage with you. There's going to be a lot more of this content. I do a lot of vehicle reviews. We are car people. As you probably have seen around the house here, we have a lot of rolling stock. We have an e-Golf. We have that old Expedition. I say old, 2011 Expedition. We have the 66 F100. Even the old yard ornament over there, the 64. So there's a lot going on the channel. A lot of automotive related content. Some other reviews of things non-automotive as well. But remember, on all of these, I'm in no way incentivized by anybody. Everything I review, I've paid for out of pocket, at least certainly to this point. So, you know, you're getting an honest review. I have no skin in the game to like one manufacturer or one product over another. So hopefully these help you. So again, like, subscribe, ask questions, comment, and I sure appreciate you. We'll look forward to seeing you another day.